Hey y'all, it's Jessie Ritter. Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Stories and Songs series. This is the last song I have to share from the record, Little Town in America. And I wanted to share this one last because it's the first song I put out. And I think if I had to pick one song that kind of is the anchor for this record, this would be it. Little Town in America as a album is really about balancing this dichotomy of longing for adventure and also longing for home. And I think a lot of that kind of falls in line with making music a career and chasing tours and doing all these shows, but also building a home. I wrote most of these songs in the year after I had gotten married. It takes a while to put them all out in the world, but this was really in these beginning stages of building a family. And there was some push and pull there of what does that look like? How do you find balance? What is enough music? What is enough time at home? And all the songs kind of revolve around that, this desire for family, this desire for home, but also this desire for adventure within music and within our family as well. And this was the first song I put out for the record. This was the very first song I wrote for the record. And so it seemed appropriate to come full circle and end the Stories and Songs for Little Town in America with this one. So if you haven't guessed yet, this is home. I released this in December of 2020, I think. Hope I'm right on that. This was the first one. It took a while to get the whole record out. Maybe 2021. I can't even remember now. But I released the song with a music video, and the cool thing about this song was that it was so personal to me. There's so many personal details in this song, but it has reached so many people, and it means so much to me when this song that I clearly wrote about my farm, my family, someone can listen to and come back to me and say, oh my gosh, I heard that and I was immediately at my grandma's farm in Kentucky, or I was right back at my parents' house in Mississippi. Like, our stories are not that different, no matter how specific we think we're being. But it means a lot to me, and I'm glad it has meant a lot to you guys as well. So if you haven't heard the story yet, I'll give you a brief version of it. Like I said, this was the first song I wrote for the record. We had just gotten married. So literally I wrote this on my honeymoon. My husband and I went on a big road trip. We took our little Chevy camper van out for a month. And I knew that we were going to be passing by this farm that I grew up on, kind of on the other side of Missouri. I moved when I was really little. We moved around a lot when I was little. But this was one of my favorite places, and it will kind of always feel like a very significant home. So I knew we were going to be passing by this farm. I wanted to find it. I wanted to go visit. It took a while, but eventually we did find it, and we pulled up this long gravel road. And it was crazy because so much was the same. Our house looks exactly the same. Our little cabin, our tree house was there. But there was this gigantic mansion built next door. Like, what we had lived in was now the guest house. But if you could ignore the mansion, everything was the same. The farm was the same. The trees were the same. And the really kind of spooky part was that when we visited, whoever lived there had moved out, and someone new was yet to move in. And so the house was completely empty, just like the day that I had left it. And that's why in the song there's like the lyric, the kitchen's bare, there's nothing on the hardwood floor. I mean, when we went to visit, the house was empty, just like we'd left it. I felt very comfortable because it felt like my home. I had no problem going looking in the windows, walking around. My new husband was a little less comfortable. And he actually said, like, Jessie, you don't belong here. This isn't your place anymore. we are trespassing and we need to go. But that is a line in the song too. I know I don't belong here anymore, but it feels like I should. It feels like home. And I even went and climbed up in the treehouse, and I kid you not, like they had not changed the paint on the walls in 20 years. And I had gotten to choose what I wanted painted, and my parents had an artist come out to paint the inside of our treehouse. So I had a cat on the windowsill, and I had horses on the wall, and a fence, and my name was on the fence. Like they hadn't changed anything. And I used to go out in this treehouse and read books in the morning and eat my oatmeal out there before school. I mean, it was just like my little perfect place that was just for me. And there was just so many cool things about this farm, but I think the most special thing is it's where I have a lot of memories with my dad. He had cancer for a long time while I was growing up. He passed away when I was 12. And one of the reasons we had to leave this farm and move was to be closer to some of his family. So we had a little more help when things got really difficult toward the end there. But I will never forget learning how to hunt on this farm with him and making our garden together and riding our first four-wheelers and just walking around the woods together, tracking deer, like all these country girl things that I really loved growing up doing. And when I visited the farm again, I could just feel him there. I could feel like the energy of these memories. It was so palpable. And it was just magical. And so eventually we did go back to the van, and I just sat there on the floor of our little road trip machine, and I wrote this song probably in 20 minutes. It was one of those songs that really just fell from the sky. And those don't come often, especially now that I'm not as emotional as I was as a teenager. I used to write songs quick every single day, and they were just flowing. But this was one of those very authentic emotional moments where the words just came right out. And I wrote it by myself, and then eventually produced the song and figured out who had moved into the house and got permission to come back with my brother-in-law and my husband, and we made a music video together there. And then we pulled clips from old home videos so you can see the farm when I lived there when I was 5, 6, 7 years old. And it just was such a beautiful way to preserve these really special memories for me. Then the music video ended up going #1 on the Country Network and like stayed on their charts for 17 weeks, which I couldn't believe that this song that was so personal and so sentimental found that kind of success and really found its audience. So I could not be more thankful for the doors this song has opened, but also for the hearts it's touched and really the healing that it's brought me singing it for the last few years. I guess I wrote this 5 years ago. It's been 5 years of performing this song. My husband and I just celebrated our 5th anniversary, and it has brought a lot of healing along the way. So thank you for letting me share my stories at the shows in this video series. Thank you for coming along for this ride. It's been really wonderful to share this music with you. Thank you for listening to Little Town in America, and I can't wait to show you what I have in the next chapter. But for now, guys, my name is Jessie Ritter. This is called Home. You can't find it on a map. Way back in the woods, it's everything I knew. I was just a girl, a bedroom with no door, and my own house in the trees. Everywhere I was, you were there with me, and I know I don't belong here anymore. kitchen's bare, nothing on that hardwood floor. A million memories still hold you here. A whisper says you love me, carried on the air when I come home. Well, 20 years can change a lot. A new place built next door, but that tree house in the back, it still has my name on the wall. And I know I don't belong here anymore. The kitchen's bare, nothing on that hardwood floor. A million memories still hold you here. A whisper says you love me, carried on the air when I come home. Nothing feels more like mine. I've run these fields for my whole life. Dirt roads stain my feet, and I can't believe we had to leave. But I know you don't hurt anymore. That's worth the pain of moving forward. And I know I don't belong here anymore. The kitchen's bare,